is. It's very visible. But yeah, right now I'm a little bit angled off, maybe a 3 to 5 degree angle away from the Overlook Apartments in Lorain. So I'm just a little bit off. It's under 5 degrees, I would think. So it's probably like 3 degrees off. If I went 3 degrees, and I'd run right into it. But that's where I am right now. So I am in Lorain. I'm not too far from I actually have time today, so my daughter's old enough to where she enjoys, she's like Dad. She likes being alone a lot, you know. Knowing my luck, she's probably at home, you know, showing her stuff to her boyfriend on the phone, because I've caught her doing that shit. I'll tell you what, learning to do this and dealing with anything out here is much, much easier than some of the weird shit I catch my daughter getting into. So, and yeah, she's at that age now where the boyfriends are like, let me see your chest. I found out about that, and I did my best to put an end to it, knowing that I can't be home all the time, so I'm sure it's still going on. But yeah, being out here just allows me to unwind from all that or any other issue I may be, you know, dealing with. There's a multitude of things that could happen that you have to put up with or, you know, deal with. And this just gives you an environment where you can get away from it. It's completely closed off and you don't have to deal with it for a little bit. It gives you a chance to self-care. And if you take care of yourself, you can get through any stressful situation. Again, I'm paddling with, for those of you who might see this video for the first time and don't know, I'm paddling with what's called a Greenland paddle. So you have the Euroblade, which is the normal kayak paddle, looks like a big spoon or shovel. Well, I have one of those on the front of my deck as a spear. That thing's only seen the water one time in 4 years. I hate that paddle. But I paddle with this. It's basically, you think the Inuits, people from Greenland, you know, what some people falsely call Eskimos. But they came up with this design. It's less stressful on your body than a regular kayak paddle, so it's wonderful. I can't tell if this boat going across, he ain't slowing down, so he has no interest in me, but I can't tell if he's some kind of Coast Guard vessel or what I'm looking at. Yeah, it don't matter anyways. Let's get a little bit further offshore. Let's get that ground in the background. Yeah, the further I go off, the more texture I get out here because of the wind direction. So it's kind of neat because if you're looking at the water like I am, I'm paying attention obviously, you can see the lines between a little bit rougher and where, you know, it's just ripples and then it gets a little bit, so it's kind of cool. You can kind of search out for what you want. If you want a calmer environment, you can find it. You can just tell by the look of the water where the wind's going to be. You know, that's what sailors do. They look at the water and they can see where the wind's hitting the water and where it's not. So they try to aim for where there's more wind. Well, I can do the same thing looking at the water and decide, well, that looks a little bit beefy and I don't want to fuck with it, or that looks fun. I haven't met one yet where it's a little too beefy when I was out. Now, there have been conditions I don't go out in, but if I go out, then it's not going to be too beefy. But yeah, right now I'm getting up to a watermark line where you can see a difference. And you can tell the difference in color of the water too. It's a little bit darker once you cross that wind line. The other great thing about this Greenland paddle, people, is once you get used to how it works, one, it's great for the body. It doesn't hurt your shoulders as much. And I have an injured shoulder that I've had for years. So, and it's never been the same now that I'm getting old. You know, yeah, 48 ain't that old, but it's old enough to where I wake up with something new hurting every day. And man, it just makes me scratch my head because I tell the doctors that something's wrong. I shouldn't feel this. And they're just like, you're 48, shut up. So that's generally the conversations between my doctor, because like, man, you're doing more than the guy your age averagely does, and you're out there all active and you're complaining about some soreness. Like, there's guys out there complaining they're so sore that they don't even do anything except for sit at home. And to that, I just tell them, well, I'm not the type to just sit around even if I'm hurt. I mean, I have nerve damage that right now, you know, I'm holding out pretty good. I'm in comfortable clothing, so I'm not being squeezed. But because of the nerve damage, yeah, my right leg especially gives me a lot of fucking shit. I don't feel it. And you do need your legs, believe it or not, to kayak. You can see all the smoke on the horizon out towards Canada. Canada has a lot of problems with fires, apparently. And man, it just fills the sky and everything when I turn to go back west towards my home. I'm actually, believe it or not, going a lot further than I expected to today. It's just I'm so comfortable, and things have taken a turn into my life that have made me realize how fortunate I am. So I'm doing pretty good. It's nice seeing the fishing boats out there. Some of them are out there pretty far. And when I take trips out to where they go sometimes, you'll hear them on the radio. There's a fucking kayak out here. What the fuck's he doing out here? Oh, it's fucking great. You're like, is this guy crazy? We're 3 miles offshore. What's this guy doing out here? Yeah, it can freak. Some people don't expect me out this way. As I said, the further I get offshore and the further west I go, the little bit bigger the waves are going to be. So, but it's still nothing that is an issue for me. I mean, the waves are probably as tall as if I had my boat sitting on dry land and just sitting there flat, the waves are probably about as tall as what my deck would be from sitting flat on the ground. So they're not nothing real big. But it's just the texture of this water. Some of you guys can see the texture of the water. It's just so calming and relaxing out here. I mean, kind of think of a baby rocking in one of their swingers or something like that, like one of the door swings. Except for in this situation, instead of just going back and forward, it rocks you all different types of ways. Because there's waves inside waves coming from other directions. And then if you got people coming past you in boats, then you're dealing with the effects of their wake. All I would need right now is a lullaby, and I could actually fall asleep in this type of Now, granted, I wouldn't suggest falling asleep in a kayak like this. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, just the motion of what's out here right now, it's enough to where it could rock you and lull you to sleep. And just be, like if you were on a raft or something flat. You can't... I could set this thing up and set up outriggers. I know how to do that, and I have safety floats that I could do that with. But yeah, sleeping on this boat wouldn't really be the most comfortable. I don't know if I'm looking at another buoy or a fucking sailboat or what I'm looking at right now. I'm too far west for that to be the one buoy. I mean, unless of course it could shift, I guess. I always wondered, how are those buoys like chained to like a weight on the bottom to keep them in place, or? But I'm starting to think maybe that's a sailboat. Because usually the buoys have a beacon light, and I'm not seeing a beacon light. I'm gonna head out to it.